They named him Victor, not because they knew he would win, but because they hoped he would survive. Victor was born on a rainy night in a small town where dreams were often buried before they were even spoken. His family had no wealth, no influence, no shortcuts. Just tired hands, honest work, and prayers whispered into the dark. From the very beginning, life did not welcome Victor gently. And yet, something inside him refused to bow. This is not just a story about success. This is a story about why some people break and others rise. This is the story of a man who was born to win, even when the world told him he never would. Victor grew up in a one-room house. When it rained, water leaked through the roof. When winter came, cold entered like an uninvited guest. His father worked long hours for little pay. His mother carried strength in silence. Other children noticed. They laughed. They pointed. They judged. At school, Victor wore the same clothes again and again. Other children noticed. They laughed. They pointed. They judged. People like you don't succeed, they said. You should learn your place. Victor learned something else instead. He learned that pain can be a teacher. He learned that hunger sharpens focus. He learned that being underestimated is a hidden advantage. Every insult carved fire into his chest. Every failure whispered one word into his soul. Victor dreamed big, but dreaming is dangerous when reality is cruel. He tried his first business idea as a teenager. He failed. He applied for opportunities. He was rejected. He worked harder than others, and still fell behind. One night, exhausted and broken, Victor sat alone and asked himself the question that breaks most people. Why keep going? No one was cheering. No one was helping. No one would blame him for quitting. But then he realized something powerful. Quitting would make them right. And Victor was not born to prove people right. He was born to win. That night, he made a promise, not to success, not to money, but to himself. I will outwork my excuses. I will suffer now so I don't regret later. The hardest enemy Victor ever faced was not poverty. It was doubt. Doubt whispered, "You're not smart enough. You're too late. You don't belong here." Confidence is built, not given. Discipline beats motivation. Consistency creates miracles. While others slept, Victor studied. While others complained, Victor practiced. While others searched for shortcuts, Victor built foundations. Progress was slow, painful, invisible. But every small win stacked on the next like bricks, forming an unbreakable wall. Just when things started improving, life hit harder. Victor lost someone he loved deeply. Then he lost his job. Then he lost his direction. For the first time, he felt empty. But in that emptiness, he discovered a truth. You don't find strength when life is easy. You discover it when you have no other choice. Victor didn't wait to feel ready. He moved while afraid. He acted while uncertain. He stood up while still bleeding. Because winners don't wait for perfect conditions. They create momentum in chaos. Years passed, quiet years, lonely years, grinding years. Then one day something changed. Victor's work began to speak louder than his past. Opportunities started finding him. People who once ignored him started asking his advice. But here's the truth, the victory didn't happen that day. It happened every time he chose discipline over comfort. Every time he stood up after falling. Every time he believed in himself when no one else did. Success was just the result. The real win was who he became. Victor was no longer just surviving. He was leading. Inspiring. Winning. Not just in wealth, but in purpose. He went back to his old town, not to brag, but to remind others. You don't need permission to dream. You don't need a perfect start. You don't need luck. You need relentless belief. Victor's story is powerful, but here's the truth most people miss. Victor is not special. Victor is not lucky. Victor is you if you choose not to quit. You may be tired, you may be doubting, you may feel behind, but listen carefully. You were not born to struggle forever. You were not born to be average. You were born to win. Not because life is easy, but because you are stronger than your circumstances.